Hi everyone. A few years ago, I was diagnosed with a chronic illness. This had a huge impact on my life, but one that the outside world could not see. Since then, I have come to learn just how many people are affected by invisible illnesses, health conditions, be it physical or mental, that have enormous repercussions on day-to-day life, but that aren't immediately obvious to other people. Now, whilst I understand that it isn't other people's responsibility to automatically know the state of our body or mind, it is the case that with this lack of awareness, misconceptions are born and judgments are made on certain decisions that we take. It is these misunderstandings that are responsible for creating a real sense of isolation for those of us who aren't well. From my own experience, what has made this even harder is trying to find the balance in how much I share. If I talk openly about my challenges, I get accused, explicitly or implicitly, of being defeatist, focusing too much on the negatives, or even being attention-seeking. On the other hand, if I choose not to describe them, I often find that people, including close friends and family, do not appreciate the magnitude of my day-to-day battles, which often means I'm expected to maintain societal expectations that are befitting of a healthy person, rather than somebody with limitations. This is why education around invisible illness is so important. Not just the different types that exist, but the journey endured by those faced with them. By creating an open dialogue, we can break down barriers, which helps those who are unfamiliar with these issues to be more informed and helps those who are suffering to feel less isolated. So, in the spirit, based on my own experiences, I would like to share 5 do's and 5 don'ts when interacting with somebody who has similar experiences to me. The do's. Number 1, do check in and ask how we're feeling. Try not to let the fact that you don't always know how to respond prevent you from reaching out. The fact is, we greatly benefit from your support. Number 2, do invite us to places, but don't be offended if we say no, pull out last minute, or leave early. Having loved ones understand our limits is hugely appreciated. Number 3, do congratulate and appreciate our achievements. No matter how big or small they are, the physical and mental challenges we overcome to achieve our goals are worth celebrating. Number 4, do come to us. Our physical limitations and the fact that so many of us have to give up things like our driving license makes your efforts to come and visit us invaluable. Number 5, do take the time to understand our specific condition. It makes us feel safe to know those close to us aren't strangers to our situation. Now for the don'ts. Number 1, don't tell us to keep busy in the hope that distraction will reduce our symptoms. Whilst we understand the sentiment, it also highlights the gap between what we are experiencing and what others understand about our condition. Number 2, don't trivialize our problems by saying it can't be that bad. Viewing a post of us on social media that doesn't align with what people think we should be capable of doesn't give them the right to draw conclusions about the extent of our struggle. Number 3, don't be inconsistent with your understanding. It can be really disheartening when someone who claims to understand what we're going through suddenly gets aggrieved when their own expectations aren't met. Number 4, don't forget that our symptoms and flare-ups don't discriminate based on who we are letting down. It's not personal. It's so out of our control, and sometimes we need to make decisions that prioritize our self-preservation. Number 5, don't underestimate what falls under the term invisible illness. It can be anything from well-known conditions like diabetes and epilepsy to lesser-known ones like chronic fatigue syndrome, endometritis, or POTS. It can also include mental illness such as depression, anxiety disorders, and even addictive behaviours. The reality is there are, in fact, a whole host of afflictions that people are suffering with on a day-to-day basis without support or recognition, simply because they are invisible. Now, my own journey has been tumultuous, to say the least. I have had to accept that people around me may never fully appreciate what I'm going through, and as a result, pull away from me. I have had to accept that I may never sustain a career the way I once intended. I've had to accept that my social life has done a 180, and I have had to accept that since being diagnosed, life will never quite be the same again. But with all of this, I have had many great learnings. I have learned how to look after my body and mind, so much so that I have been able to successfully eliminate many stress factors from my life, which is something that everyone strives for. I've learned to identify and avoid toxic situations and people, and I have learned to value those who are truly committed to me, people who have taken the time to familiarise themselves with my new normal. And for these blessings, I'm truly grateful. It has also changed my outlook on life in many ways. The biggest being that there is an opportunity in every situation should you wish to seek it. I hope that this vlog has been informative and that the personal snapshot I've shared will assist you in providing not just support, but compassion and understanding with others who have invisible illnesses.